Hello, y'all. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this video. Welcome back. We're doing another chapter review of, Tabitha Brown's book, Feeding the Soul, because it's my business, and my soul is being fed by this book. Okay? And then secondarily, we're only doing one chapter today. If you've been following the series, sometimes I do one chapter, sometimes we're doing two chapters. I created this new organization system for content creation, and today we're doing one chapter. Right? I'm sorry, little fluffies are flying in the air. But yeah, let's get into it. So, what are we on? Chapter 6. Everyday living might be your learning. Child, I don't know what I wrote. But yeah, in this chapter, she talks about how, just living your life, you know what I mean? Doing things that you need to do essentially to survive, you know what I mean? Could be the thing that you need to do in order to reach your success, right? Tabitha Brown talks about, she's famous now. She's famous, she's an actress. But she says, what do you do for a living? That's a question a lot of people ask us, right? And she would say that she's an actress because she is an actress, you know what I mean? And she's doing a lot more acting now, Truthberg. But she's doing a lot more acting now, but she originally didn't get there from just being an actress and being on stage or in front of cameras and televisions and whatever. You know what I mean? She got there by cooking. In this chapter, she talks about how she was just cooking. She was just cooking for herself and then eventually for her family. And then she ended up sharing it with people online. And then that became her claim to fame to where she is right now. Right? And this was so timely for me. You know what I mean? So she's saying your day-to-day life, and she's not a fancy chef and she doesn't have no crazy degrees. She ain't cooking at no 5-star Michelin restaurants. It's not what she's doing. Right? But just cooking for herself and trying new things out and cooking for her family and doing it online put her on the path to be successful. And that's kind of what this chapter is about, right? Just because you don't have the money to go to the big fancy school, just because you don't have the time to do X, Y, and Z, doesn't mean that God isn't going to use your life and your day-to-day activities to put you where it is that you need to be, to have, and to live the life of your dreams, right? This was so timely for me. This was so timely for me because I've been just so frustrated about my personal acting career. You know what I mean? It's so hard because I don't have a car to get around in this new city that I'm in. You know what I mean? And I'm having a hard time auditioning, and I don't have the networks or the connections that I'm used to, working, to get into the audition room and to get cast. And I'm in this new place. And yes, again, I'm in this spot where I'm a bigger fish in a smaller pond, but also at the same time, I'm not where I want to be. And there's all these external factors. I want to be on tour. I want to be on Broadway. I want an agent. I want a manager. Whatever. You fill in the blank. Right? But this chapter was just so timely for me because I was really having a hard time with that, right? And then also, I was also listening to another audiobook. I listen to this one every day because it's cute little 5-minute chapters that just tell you about your mindset, but it's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne Dwyer. Chapter 32, and it's called Living the Perfect Goodness of the Tao. Now, it's a good chapter, but in the chapter, I had a little bit of resistance because in the chapter, he's talking about, sometimes we try to force, our will on our passions or the things we're passionate about, and he's like, you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? You're living out of flow. You're living out of balance. And then I was listening to it. I was like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Sure, but if I don't force it a little bit, it's not going to get done. And also in the chapter, he's like, you're not in control. You know what I mean? Trying to force yourself is just exhausting yourself. And he says a number of other things. But essentially, I was having some resistance to what he was saying because I do feel that I got to force the issue in some way or somehow. Maybe that's not the tea. You know what I mean? So again, I was having a hard feeling with everything that I want to accomplish and not being on the path that I feel like it should look like. And then, I pulled an Oracle card. And the Oracle card, what did the Oracle card say? I put an Oracle card in this new Oracle deck that I have. It stated that what if your life is your starting point? You know what I mean? And then on the back of the card, it just spoke about, let me see if I can find it. This isn't the one, but this is a good one that I also pulled at that time. Most people are just trying to survive. Again, this also goes with the message, that just doing what you need to do to survive, to make it day to day, which is where I'm at. Girl, times is hard. We post philodendron. We post pandemic, girl. And it's gas prices is up. These rent prices not coming down. Everybody want to go on strike. There are so many industries on strike. And then I want to go on strike too, but I just want to eat and sleep and have a good time with my friends. You know what I mean? And that's not what the card was. It was another card that's saying that, like, what was it? It was like, what if your life was your starting point? You know what I mean? What if, like, what you're doing right now in your day-to-day life, in your every day-to-day life, was your launch pad for where it is that you want to go and where you need to be? After pulling that oracle card, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it. And then the next morning, I listened to this chapter, and a triplet, perfect triplet, wrapped it all together. That just like handling the trials and tribulations of life are going to equip me and equip us with everything that we need to make it to where we need to be, right? Just being in flow. And then even now, just like, if I could paint the picture for you, I really would, but it's so complex. Just like trying to tell people the way the divine works. God really does work in mysterious ways. I really believe that. Even before I had a deep spiritual practice, I was like, God works in mysterious ways. It's a little cliche, people in the church say. But I believe that, and my life reflects that. My biggest takeaway from this chapter is I just need to be in flow. If all I really need to do right now is, find a job, work that job, try to pay these bills, and then find the connections that job is going to make me have, you know what I mean? There's just a myriad of ways that life can happen, and I don't have to force this one specific like vision or sight or plan that I've created when the divine has created so many opportunities for us, right? And lastly, I feel like I'm not off track. I'm doing exactly what I need to do. Just living my day-to-day life and trying to make ends meet, and talking and making YouTube videos when I feel motivated to, and living in accordance with, the planets. And then I also forgot this. I have notes down here. But tarot is also kind of that. You know what I mean? Again, like, I did not want to be on here pulling tarot cards for the girls. This was never part of the 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan. It just wasn't. No tea, no shade. Like, I do love tarot. I do love spirituality. You know what I mean? But doing it for others was never... It was never, oh girl, that's going to be my claim to fame. That's what I want to do. Let's add that into my career. It just never gave that. No tea, no shade. And again, I do love it. But since I've been doing it, I feel like fulfilling. It's fulfilling in a way. It's fulfilling being in service to others. And just working and living in that way, in that form. And this may not be my claim to fame, but it's my claim to influence, you know what I mean? Until helping like lift the vibration of the collective, which is something that I've always wanted to do with my acting career. And then like, now we're really getting to it. Now my like crown is like stimulated. But like, as an actor and a performer, the reason why like I worked and worked in the theater, as an actor and performer, the reason why I went to the theater is because I always liked that there was a takeaway and there was a lesson or like a blessing, that people can walk away from after like the end of the show. Everybody's seen A Christmas Carol, right? And it's like, don't be stingy, be generous, you know what I mean? And all that good stuff. Like, don't be a Scrooge, right? And then like, just to takeaways like that always made me feel good in my spirit, and being a part of that story to help other people like lift their vibrations and maybe just become better people always felt good to me. In tarot, it's doing that. Tarot, when I read the tarot, it's doing that. But more specifically, the thing that I love about the tarot is that like, when I'm reading for people or reading for a collective, I can tap into what do these people need to hear right now in this very specific moment. And I love theater, I love acting, I love storytelling. But sometimes, you take 3 months, 3 to 2 months building that story, and then you tell the same story, for 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 5 nights out of the week, you know what I mean, with just that one takeaway. Not to say that's a bad thing, but every day is a new day, and being able to use the tarot and astrology and all these other spiritual tools to give people what they need and to make them feel like hopeful and motivated feels so good to me. It feels so good. It feels so rewarding. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Again, that's just a little bit about how my day-to-day is helping me accomplish the things that I want to do. And I kind of had like some epiphanies while making this video. But let me know if this resonated with you at all down in the comment section. Again, thank y'all for watching. Let me know how you're liking the book. If you're doing the reading series with me, please let me know. And also let me know if there are any books you want to add to a list. I have a couple of like reading like lists of like books. Is there a book that y'all want to check out next? Y'all want to do with? I'm really here to create a community. Don't forget, check out my Patreon link down in the description bar, where I'm uploading like journaling prompts and speaking more about like spirituality and self-awareness. The group, my Patreon is coming together really nicely, and I'm really like proud of it. Right? Check out the different tiers if you want to get into spiritual practices. But the $6 level, where you can get a free weekly, mini reading from me, and also just just the journaling prompts and spiritual reflections I'm having throughout the week. But that's all. I'm gonna stop rambling. I love y'all. Again, you are exactly where you need to be. I hope this message heals you or feels good to you. And until next time, this is XOMO. Bye.